Hi, this video is a walkthrough of my React site for the second Fullstack submission. We can view and manipulate degrees, cohorts, modules, and students. So I can click here and I'll see all the degrees, modules, cohorts. For students, we only have an individual view. For degrees, I can select a specific degree and it'll show me all the cohorts under that degree. And I can go to that specific cohort. This will show me which students are under that specific cohort or class. On the modules page, I can view a specific module. This will show me more additional information on the cohorts that receive this module. And I can click any of these and I can go to that cohort, as you can see. I can also see for any specific cohort, the modules delivered to a cohort with this link. And if I go back, as you can see, in the cohort list, you have a list of students. Listing all the students will be too large, but it is manageable for a specific cohort. And for any student, I can view their profile. The profile gives me the student info, but also their grades and the modules that they take, which is the same for anyone in that same cohort. As you can see, I can also set their grades. That will take me to this form. For example, I can set it to have 50-50. And as you can see, it's updated here with the grade I just added for that module. On the creation side, you can create any of the 4 degrees or modules, cohort students. So you can create a student first. So here's a test student, John Johnson. He's in CompSci 2. And the moment you submit, it'll take you to the page that I just created for him. As you can see, he has no grades, but we can give him a grade. Let's say he did really well on linear algebra, which is not possible. You can also create a cohort. So for example, I don't know, computer graphics. And here you see, oops, I forgot the number. Well, if I added it, it'll be correct. Anyway, we can also create a module. I have no idea what to add for this. Test module. Let's say it's 50-50 for the CA. And for some reason, everyone in computer graphics takes that module. So go down, see here, the test module. You can also create a degree, and this is the simplest form. All you need is the shortcode and the full name. So let's say CPU design. Oops, I forgot that you can have more than 5. How do you abbreviate CPU design? DZ. Okay. Now if we go to modules all the way down, sorry, degrees, here, CPU design. As you can see, there are no cohorts, but we can make one. And there you go. Here's the code for my app. I define all the page components in pages, and then I import them into app.js. And here I define some routes. So on the root, the element is the nav bar, because no matter what path you're on, you should always have the navigation bar. And then underneath, I've defined sort of subpaths. So if you go to /degrees, it'll show first the nav bar and then degrees. Most paths I would think are self-explanatory, but on some of them I pass so path variables they're called. I have a lot of pages, so only take a cursory look at each of them. So on the cohort page, I take in this ch path variable, which defines a cohort. So in a cohort link, it'll be /cohort/ the ID of the cohort. And the students, which is a list of the students that I pull from the API. Same for cohort. And I structure all the information in a strike table. Throughout the project, I use Bootstrap just to make things look nicer. And as you can see here, I format based on the cohort. So pertinent information in the curlies. Here I define a link to the cohorts, and down below here I map from the list of students to individual JSX table rows. So these show the student information in the cohort. So each student's ID, first name, last name, email, etc. And as you can see here, a link to the individual student profile. Similar for the cohorts page, except it's a different fetch, different headings. Here in the map, in the R function I pass, I have this degree. So because the degree you fetch is actually a URL, but I just want the degree name. So I split it by slash, take the degree part, just to make things less complicated. But still the same, we return some JSX with some links and info. Yeah. One of the things to note is that it's not anywhere else, but in the navbar, aside from the navigation bar here, with these links to the different pages, I have the outlet component, which just shows the component of whatever page or link is currently selected. So I'll show one of the create pages. So for create a cohort, I set some state variables. So the cohort, there's ID, year, name, degree, and separately we also fetch a list of degrees for this drop-down menu. So once we fetch that, down below, here where we return the JSX, here we have a small map. And in this map, we map from the list of degrees to this option. So inside of this select, and that form.select is this drop-down, we have a grayed out option, select a degree. So when you start here, you can see that it tells you to select something, but you can't select a degree. But aside from that, the rest are mapped values, where the value is the short code of the degree, and the preview text is the same. For the form submission, they're all virtually the same. First, we prevent the default behavior. We define a form with the information that's needed in the form, and then we perform a post request to the relevant API URL. Nothing special here, except in the body we stringify the form, so we can send it over the wire. Then we get the response. If the response is okay, we pass the JSON to the next then, though we don't use it here. Otherwise, we raise an alert. So if the response is not okay, obviously something went wrong, and we alert a user with the message. So here the message is just the text of the response. Usually the user shouldn't see this, so I don't think it's an issue. And then when they submit a form, usually we redirect them to the main page. So when you make a cohort, it navigates back to the full cohorts list. That's the main behavior. There's one place where I do use the response, actually. So here, when you create a student, it sends you back a response, and I take the student ID from the response so I can navigate to the correct page. You can also see here that there's some formatting in the form. So for the cohort that's passed in the URL, it's just a cohort string, but the API expects the full link. So here I just perform some interpolation to achieve that. I believe that covers most of the code, but on the side, I'd like to show how this page for create module was implemented, because there's something different about it. So here in the list of cohorts, first we fetch it in here, just a normal fetch. But for the checkboxes, we list from the list of cohorts to a stop checkbox, the value which is the API URL to that cohort, because that's the value that the API expects anyway, so it's best to just format early. And on change, we call this checkbox click callback, and this is here. So I maintain a list of the selected cohorts, and I use a new list, just built from the old one. If the target that caused this callback was checked, we add its value in. Otherwise, we splice that value out, because that means the checkbox was unticked. And that's how I maintain a list of the checked cohorts. And because it's a list, we can just pass it into the form, and there's no added manipulation we need to do. I believe that covers most of the code, so thank you for watching.